Hello and welcome back. I'm sorry about the lateness. It's been a week since I've done one, but I have a lot going on in life, so I try my best. I always try my best to get these out as much as I can. The hat's back because my hair's a mess when I'm doing this, so in advance I apologise. So anyway, today I'm going to be reviewing Resident Evil Apocalypse. And now, should we get this into the redness? Okay, you can't see the red very well because it's daytime. So, I'm going to say right off the bat, this movie is a great sequel. It, to me, is one of my favourites for its sequels, more than some of the later ones that came. Oh, it does hold something close to me, this one, Resident Evil Apocalypse. So I feel like this one kind of mishes and mashes the stories of Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Nemesis, or Last Escape as it's also known as. The actress that played Jill, I will remember her name at some point. Her costume was very, very accurate to the game actually, so I did appreciate that. And I'm one of those people that I always look out for these little details like that. And Jill's costume was one of them. So Nemesis, I didn't mind him, he was pretty cool. I did like the sort of design of it, but probably could do it a bit better now, but it was pretty good. And I don't know, it's just a fantastic sort of film. I love it more than the original Resident Evil that they had before this. 2002, I think the first one came out. And this one I found was a bit more better. You got to see the Lickers. That's cool. You had some more zombie dogs. A lot more undead. You had the Umbrella in it more. The mercenaries. Carlos, played by Oda Farah. I think that's how you say it. Oda Farah, the guy who played the Magi in the Mummy movies, and he played Carlos from Resident Evil 3. I didn't care that he didn't look like him. I thought he portrayed him really well. I believe Nikolai is in this movie. But again, I think they changed him because in the game he seems a bit shifty, but I don't think they did it with him. I think he is killed by one of the zombie dogs. So you got like a group of survivors. You see Jill smoking. That was a bit of an unexpected one for me. So the open's great. There's like a woman running upstairs, running away from the undead. I think she ends up jumping off a building. The Umbrella come to save her. So you kind of got these good Umbrella guys, I guess, from the get-go, which is weird because it's Umbrella. And Alice has obviously returned. So you got Nemesis in there. There's little things that, like, I'm gonna have pros and cons about any sort of movie overview, but honestly, there's not bad cons, to be fair, because since it's a mashup between three, they should have had Leon in this one and Claire, because it was in vacuums. Like, they should have had it as a back-to-back film. That's my only disappointment, really, because they could have done a bit more of that, because it would have been a bit more like the games, but it had elements of both, so I guess they kind of mashed it together to see what they could do with it. But it didn't turn out that bad, honestly. And so you got a lot more action in this one, and Alice is much more badass. You know, you kind of get the end of the first one. It kind of continues off into this, where she's in the city, sort of like destroyed, all messed up. And it sort of goes from there. She gets a new outfit, which is pretty cool looking. She gets shot, all the good stuff. You know, she's a bit more alert on this one. She's a bit different in this one. So she meets like a group of survivors. Majority of them do die. There's a really cool bit where they're in the church, and there's a guy with his wife, but she's infected, and he's like feeding her body parts, and like she ends up biting that guy, and it all goes crazy. And the Lickers, not the best CGI, but I was happy to see the Lickers in it because they were introduced in the second Resident Evil game, and evidently they introduced them in the second. No, wait, there was a no, correct. I'm sorry, there was one in the first Resident Evil movie, but it was more of a prototype one, I believe. So, but they're introduced properly in this one, I believe. And you got a cool bit where she jumps into the church. But there's just a lot of great stuff in this movie. A lot more undead. I didn't like that they friendly-fied Nemesis. There is a comic that actually explains Nemesis' origin, and it was kind of different in this movie. And I think that's why the Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City game, also known as Orc, actually took that idea and made it like because he didn't really have anything like he did in the Resident Evil 3 game. It made it a bit more like computer controlled. I don't know. To me, that bothers me a little, but it doesn't ruin it for me. If you get what I mean, it's not that bad, honestly. So because that game kind of makes me think it's inspired by the second movie in ways, but the ending is cool, and one of my favourite shots, I think, is where it sort of zooms out on the planet, and I was like, because in the first one it zooms out on this Raccoon City, like all destroyed, devastated, and it kind of zooms out on the Earth. I'm pretty sure it's the second one, and then the third one kind of zooms out, and they kind of did it for like a few movies. They didn't do it by the fourth, I don't believe. But yeah, it is very pleasing to watch, actually. Something like that. Like I said, it is pleasing to watch. Like I said, the only bad things isn't like that. I wish they had Claire and Leon in this one, because they're like, next to Jill, they're like two of my favourite characters in the series. And Wesker is, actually, to be fair. Obviously, he's not in Apocalypse. And yeah, I just love Mia Jovovich. She was pretty awesome in this movie. She's like, one of the bits where she runs down the tower, I found out that was like her, and that's pretty cool. Like, she likes to do all stuff. She gets thrown about on these movies, and that's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. And it is one of my favourite sequels out of all of them. So like I said, this out of them all, it was one that I do hold close, because it feels like not so much horror in this one, but there is horror obviously to it. But I feel like the first movie had a bit more horror. That's another con I'm gonna say. But all in all, I did not enjoy it. So I did enjoy it a bit more than the first one, even though the first one had more horror. I seem to enjoy this one a bit more compared to the first one, because it had a bit more to it. The story was built on. Like I said, I didn't like that Nemesis could be friendly, and I just didn't like that. I felt it was a bit cheesy, in my opinion. But all in all, I literally think, to quote the Ninth Doctor, it's fantastic. It's a really great movie. I'd actually give it an 8 out of 10. A good 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. So yeah, if you've watched the first one by now, I'm gonna say, if you haven't watched, if you've watched the first movie now, great, watch that. Now watch the Resident Evil Apocalypse, and you'll see what I mean by it. It seems like a better Resident Evil movie. Not bashing the first one. The first one's still great. Like I said, this has minus a little bit more, less horror, but it is a really, really great movie, and I do recommend you guys watching it. Resident Evil Apocalypse. Well, thank you for just watching my videos. If you're new, leave a like, sub me, and I want to keep making these. I will try and definitely do one of my first anime reviews tomorrow, because I've got to watch. There's a new one I've actually got, so I've got to watch that, and I'm going to review the first part of that. So anyway, take care, guys, and have a nice day. Well, that's awkward. He didn't stop.